Hello everybody, hope you're doing well on this Friday. Got lots to talk about, just recapping some of those first alert safety desk stories of the week. These are the three that I thought were pretty popular this week and big talkers, especially that reusable water bottle one was a big one, and experts warning of scammers bluejacking your smartphone. You know, when you log in to your phone or your tablet or anything and you're using Bluetooth, there are scammers out there that try to get into your technology, so we'll talk about that. And then also the top cybersecurity threats to kids. I gotta fix that actually. And if you're just tuning in, let me know where you're watching from. I'm gonna update this here, there we go. So those are the three that I thought were pretty good ones to chat with you about. On this Friday, as we normally do, we like to recap those top first alert safety desk stories of the week. We'll start with that first one that I did earlier in the week, experts warning about bluejacking in your smartphones and your tablets and your computers, things like that. So put up some of this information for you. You can follow along if you'd like. And all of this, per usual, is at WBAY.com under the safety desk tab. So in case you missed it, this was a pretty interesting one. So we're talking about cyber criminals, and what we've been seeing is a rise in more of these bluejacking cases. We've talked about it before, but Bluetooth, it says, will have, so Bluetooth itself, the company, says more than 5 billion new Bluetooth devices will be shipped this year, adding to the billions of devices already in use and making it a tempting target for fraudsters. So that's really important, especially if we're seeing more people impacted by what's called bluejacking. So there's several ways that Bluetooth can be exploited by scammers. The first one is bluejacking. You see it right there on your screen. So that's when an attacker sends unsolicited messages to a Bluetooth enabled device, so maybe like your phone. And so cyber criminals can bluejack a device from as far as 30 feet away. And then there is blue snarfing, where a hacker steals information from a phone through Bluetooth. And so this is usually older devices with out-of-date software. So I'll say it now, I'll say it again. Updating your software is really important so you can avoid this. Then there's blue bugging, where a cyber criminal gets complete control over a device through Bluetooth. So we talked to a cybersecurity expert, and he said the best thing to do is switch off your Bluetooth in public places and only use it when absolutely necessary. I think that is really important, especially because you never know who's out there. And I know a lot of people have been telling me, well, I use Bluetooth when I'm in public, but just being mindful of that. And I think the biggest part of it is if you are using it and you see any notification or any invite from someone as far as Bluetooth goes, make sure you just don't accept that. Don't open any links if they suddenly, and you're in public, if they suddenly pop up. I think that's really important to note as well. And again, that story is at WBAY.com. So don't accept those requests to pair your device with a stranger. If you receive a file, make sure you don't open it, and then keep those devices updated. So that's really the recap with the Bluetooth story, but just be mindful that it is happening, and we're starting to see a rise in that here and there. I also want to talk about the reusable water bottle story, which again was a big hit this week. A lot of people talking about it. And our headline on our website, it says, is your reusable water bottle safe to drink from? A lot of people chiming in online about this. And I'm gonna pop this up on the screen. You know, the words are kind of squeezed up there at the top. So with this story, we were basically that day talking, I think it was May 6th, so that was Monday. So we were talking about how it was going to be a nice day, a lot more people, obviously the weather's getting better, a lot more people carrying their water bottles around, staying hydrated, which is great. But doctors are concerned because a lot of people, from what they're seeing, they're ingesting bacteria and also triggering their allergies because the bacteria is in there, it's living in there if you're not washing your water bottle, so you can get an infection if you're not taking care of that. So again, giving your water bottle, your reusable water bottle, lots of TLC, making sure you're washing it really, really well. Use a bristle brush for those straws, the reusable straws too, because those get pretty slimy on the inside. You just don't notice it because you can't see it. Make sure you're using soap and water after each use. And you know, these are common sense things, but because doctors are seeing it, we've got to let you know about it. So again, it might be gross, but make sure that you take care of that because you're risking gastrointestinal issues and again, those allergy symptoms because mold, if you're allergic to mold, that can build inside of your water bottle and you may not even know it. And that includes, and I know a couple of you were commenting on Facebook, it does include plastic, glass, stainless steel, because you're reusing that water bottle. It's that moist environment and that's where bacteria loves to grow, especially under those moving parts, if, you know, the lid and where you open the water bottle, things like that. So really get in there or even soak it in a cleaner of some sort. Make sure it's safe for you to use that cleaner, but also just double checking to make sure that it's nice and clean on the inside. So ideally put the water bottle in a dishwasher if you can to get the surfaces exposed to water pressure both inside and out. So that one was a big one this week. Thank you for tuning in, Bruce. Hello from Appleton. Hello to you. Good morning. Thanks for being here on a Friday as we recap some of these stories. First Alert Safety Desk stories from the week so far. So we've talked about bluejacking, the Bluetooth story, reusable water bottles, but also this morning we mentioned and we talked about cybersecurity threats to kids. So I'll put some of that up here on your screen too. So this summer, you know, our kids, they're going to be spending more time online. They're not at school, so they're going to be on their phones, their tablets, computers, video games. That's what our kids do. So make sure that you're aware of the biggest online threats to kids. And right now, some of the big ones, I'll go through them. So the latest craze is bank cards, and they're designed for kids as young as 12. But experts are worried because it makes them more susceptible to financially motivated scammers. Make sure that you're also keeping track of what they're seeing, whether it's emails, alerts, things like that. And talk to them about this because, you know, if they see something, make sure they let you know about what they're seeing because you never know where it could be coming from. But another one facing kids this year is artificial intelligence. It's affecting everybody and a lot of people have questions, concerns, excitement, whatever it is about AI. But in this case, the concern is AI has very suddenly captured, you know, the public imagination. Ordinary people, including kids, are using it. So kids may not always be thinking about the risks. And we've talked about language AI, where you type in a question or a comment or something into AI, whether it's on, you know, I think Facebook, Instagram does it now, you know, Google does it, and you ask it a question for advice or whatever it is. And experts say some AI apps also give kids inappropriate content, false information, dangerous advice. So talk to them about that because that's new for all of us. So we're all adjusting, we're all getting to know the world of AI because it is moving very, very quickly. So be mindful of that. So the cybersecurity company and the expert that we spoke to says that what we need to understand with these large language models, AI, is that we're feeding them with information and that information can be brought out of those systems too. So we need to be really careful about the sharing part of everything, making sure that kids aren't sharing too much information, clicking on malicious links, all of that. And that goes for every platform. But we also want to make sure that kids are not ending up talking to someone who isn't who they say they are, which is obviously, you know, tale as old as time. But make sure you update them on what's going on with this world of AI. That's a potential threat. And also, there's been popular apps with teens, and experts in this story we were talking about this morning say they go into the app store, they look for these popular apps, but they might get the wrong one, which is kind of strange, but they may end up with a malicious copy of a popular app. And so cyber bullies, basically, or these scammers are out to talk to and reach out to the most vulnerable population. And in this case, sometimes kids just don't know. So make sure you get them to let you know what apps they're downloading, things like that. Make sure you're talking to them, that you're also staying informed about these cybersecurity threats because they can change, and they have, especially with what we've been seeing with AI. So as a side note too, experts say to make sure you're changing the passwords on your smart home devices, you know, the doorbell cameras, security cameras, baby monitors, because you are risking getting hacked. And in some cases, people have seen these hackers spying on their kids. So it could be kind of scary, but it's also just about being aware and mindful of these things that are actually happening in the world. I want to pull up some of the stories here from WBAY.com in case you missed some of them. So we covered the cybersecurity threats to children. This one was another good one, impactful actually. More children losing parents to drug overdoses. Very interesting because we've been talking a lot over the years about the opioid epidemic. So make sure you read that if you have been impacted in some way, and talk to your kids, talk to your family about that. And then we talked about keeping your kid on wheels from a ride to the emergency room. So some more of that obvious stuff, but thousands of kids end up in the ER with head injuries, and we don't want that. So there's some great tips for you to keep in mind, and also parents, it's also about you leading by example in that story. A few other stories. This one was a big one too. This study about car interiors having chemicals linked to cancer. This was by Consumer Reports. They were sounding the alarm, basically, for lack of a better phrase. Researchers at Duke University Green Science Policy Institute found that 99% of cars that they looked at contained a flame retardant under investigation by the U.S. National Toxicology Program. So what they were finding is these chemicals can possibly cause cancer and other health issues, neurological, reproductive issues, things like that. So this one was an interesting one, and we always have the link for you to click into whatever study I mention or whatever link I mentioned on air. Is normally right there in the story, and there's the entire statement by Consumer Reports talking about that, and basically calling out National Highway Traffic Safety Administration, asking them to update fire safety standards for vehicles, the interior actually. And then they have the whole peer-reviewed study that you can click on. It's a lot of stuff, some of these stories, and that's why we recap some of these on Fridays, is because there's so much that goes along with them. This one in particular had so much to talk about. So make sure you, if you're interested and you're curious about that, about what you're breathing when you're inside your car, read that. Oh, I clicked on an ad. Let's get out of that. So yeah, those are all at WBAY.com. Make sure you take a look at that. But we've had a pretty busy week. It's 8:57 right now, so make sure you tune in here in just a couple of minutes for Action 2 News at 9. So the mid-morning show with Catherine Bracho. It is her second to last newscast with us ever, so tune in for that. And online we have all of her farewell messages from you, messages from us here. She will be missed for sure, so make sure you take a look at that and maybe send her some well wishes on Facebook, Instagram. She's all over social media. Check her out though, coming up at Action 2 News Mid-Morning. I know there's going to be some more of those farewells, and if you're curious about what she's doing moving forward after she leaves WBAY, you'll want to tune into both Action 2 News Mid-Morning and at noon. But as far as the safety desk stories go, that is all I have. We'll have lots more, of course, next week. And if you ever have any questions, make sure you reach out via email or social media. Always happy to help you find the necessary information about a story that I've covered. Some of them are extensive, so I'm happy to chat with you in any way. But thank you for tuning in, and thank you for saying hello if you've been on Facebook. Appreciate that. Hope you all have a great day and a great weekend, and happy Mother's Day to all the moms out there.